To the Desert Spring. So today we're doing a meditation. So get comfortable. Um, and what we're going to be doing in this meditation, we're going to be focusing on releasing a lot of the pain associated with Christianity. So that pain could be, being overlooked. It could have been being oppressed. It could have been being, being talked down to, made to feel less than. It could be just in general feeling of unworthiness, feeling like you're not worthy of being loved, like you're not worthy of being alive, worthy of experiencing this beautiful thing that we call life. Um, and so yeah, so that's the purpose of the meditation today. So, with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and put on some music, and I'll just take you through. This is going to be a guided meditation. So, ideally, don't do this while you're driving. Don't be operating. If you've got to focus on something, focus on that thing, right? And if you just want to do this wherever you want, go for it. But just make sure that you're giving whatever needs attention the attention that it requires, right? With that being said, ideally, you're sitting down or you're laying down or something like that. And so we can go ahead and just kind of get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and put on some music, and then we'll just take you through this guided meditation. And ultimately, what we want to do is we want to let the things come up. Now, if you want to have tissues handy, that's okay. If you want to, this is a safe space. Ideally, you're doing this in a place where if you want to cry, you can cry. If you want to yell and scream, you can yell and scream, whatever, right? Ideally, we're doing this in a safe space. What things are going to come up? Thoughts are going to come up. And I don't want you to repress those thoughts. I don't want you to push them away. I simply want you to be the observer, the background observer of what is coming up for you, okay? So I don't want you to be attached to anything. I don't want you to, put yourself in a state of a panic attack or something like that because of how attached you are. Let's say, for me, I could say like my parents always used church as a way of controlling my voice growing up because I was a singer. I wasn't a singer until they found out I could sing, and then they put me in voice lessons and then demanded that I sang at church because they were paying for voice lessons, and my voice belonged to them because that's what they paid for, kind of thing. And so you can really just embody the pain in that. But what I want you to do, instead of embodying that pain, I want you to be the observer of what is coming up for you. Okay? So not being attached to it. Don't latch on to the pain and just make the pain, completely take over your body and take over your being. No, just sit with it, look at it, watch it. And the most important thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to recognize its value in your life, whether there was, whether there wasn't, if you grew, if you didn't grow, what you learned from the experience, what you didn't learn from the experience, how you can show up for yourself differently. And you're going to forgive the parties involved with that situation, and you're going to let it go. Okay? Now, it's probably not going to let go, right? If it's something small, then sure, doing this once will be perfectly fine. You may have to do this a couple of times. And if there's something that is just really, really aching at you, you may have to do a little bit more, in which case you can contact me as to kind of what to do. And you can kind of share with me kind of what the issue is and all that kind of stuff. And I could just kind of give you some tips and some advice and stuff like that on what you could do to kind of be free from whatever it is, that idea that's controlling your life and controlling your beliefs. Okay, so first, take a deep breath, right? We're setting the stage. We're allowing life to be slow. We're allowing life to be anticlimactic. We're allowing for mundane to come up in this moment. Okay? So we're going to take a big breath in. Hold it at the top for a minute. And then let it out. Okay? And we're going to do it again. If you want to shut your eyes, feel free to shut your eyes, but take in a big breath through your nose. Hold it at the top. And then let it go. We're going to do this a couple of times. We're going to take a big breath in. Hold it at the top. And then let it go. And now while you stay in this space, I want you to kind of disconnect from the surroundings around you. I want you to disconnect from all the worries that you have. I want you to disconnect from all of the things that may be preoccupying your mind. Just disconnect and really sit with yourself in your body. Right now, all that we have is this very moment in your very body. And we're sitting with this moment in this body. And we're just allowing ourselves to be inside of our body and to just feel our body. So we can feel our arms, we can feel our shoulders, we can feel our necks, our head, our hands, our feet. We can feel the seat under us or the bed under us, and we can see if we're comfortable with that position, if we're not comfortable with that position. Okay? And we're breathing. And every time we breathe, we go deeper and deeper and deeper into our subconscious. And the goal is to communicate with the subconscious part deep inside of us, where all the pain is stored, where all the pain lies. Take in a deep, big breath. Hold at the top. And then let it out. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sit and we're going to ask our body, what part of Christianity, what part of walking away from Christianity is still present with us in this now moment, right? What part of walking away from Christianity, if there's any fears, if there's any judgments, if there's any, maybe your family doesn't agree with you, what parts of that are coming up? And we're just going to allow those things to come up, okay? Now, as they come up, don't latch onto them. Don't be the completely separated observer. You're looking at these thoughts as if they're not your own thoughts. You're looking at these thoughts as if they're just thoughts of a friend. And so you sit there, and the thought will come up, and you'll see and feel emotions. Allow yourself to feel these emotions. Do not give the emotions power over you. Do not give the emotions any strength, but just sit and observe the emotions that come up. So you had this thought, this specific thing is bothering you about Christianity, about leaving Christianity. And here we are in this very moment with these feelings, and we're just allowing ourselves to feel these feelings. Okay? And now what we're going to do is we're going to ask that feeling. We're going to ask kind of our subconscious self, what is it about that experience that bothered me so much? What is it about that experience that created this emotional tie to that experience? Because ultimately, every emotion creates a tie to an experience. And so the more emotions that we can dig up, the more emotions that we can work through, the more ties to experiences in our past that we can let go of and ultimately move on from in our lives. And so we're sitting here and we're asking, what is it that about that experience that bothered me so much? Was it that they made you feel powerless? Was it that they made you feel like you were unworthy? Was it that they made you feel like you weren't valuable, like you weren't your own beautiful being? Maybe it was that the Creator doesn't love you or is only willing to love you under very specific conditions. Maybe it was something like your family member, seeing a family member hurt and seeing a family member put themselves through so much oppression because of the religion. You know, maybe you had a mom that stayed with an abusive husband, or maybe you had a father that stayed with an abusive spouse. And the reason why they didn't leave is because the Bible does not allow for divorce, or the church does not allow for divorce, or maybe they were wanting to keep a good look, or maybe because they simply vowed to God, and breaking that vow would be something in the Bible. It says not to break a vow to God. Whatever it is, just whatever it is, bring it up and find out why that bothered you so much. I'm going to give you a minute. And while you think, I'm going to very lightly put on this music. Sorry, I was going to put this on earlier. Turn this down just a bit. Okay. And so I'm going to leave you for just a minute to stay in your mind. Don't back out yet. Just allow these different negative experiences that you've had inside of Christianity to just come up for you, to bring them to the surface. So that way you can see them, you can acknowledge them, you can acknowledge the pain, and you can understand why that pain existed. And ultimately, let it go and make a promise to yourself to respect yourself. Make a promise to yourself to show up for yourself and to not allow anybody or anyone to ever make you feel like you're unworthy, to ever make you feel like you weren't enough, to ever make you feel like if there was a divine that it wouldn't love you for exactly the way that you are, for the exact emotions that you have, for acting out in the ways that you acted because of the life that you were dealt. Okay, sit with that for just a moment. And I'm going to allow you some time to just go ahead and just work and just bring up all of the things that you can think of. Many of you are thinking about relationships. Many of you are thinking about maybe an event that happened inside of a church and you reported it to some church authorities or to family members and nobody heard you, and they discredited it and they wanted to keep things happy in the church. So instead of dealing with that specific situation the way that they should have, potentially getting the authorities involved, no, they wanted to keep it hush-hush so that way the church could save face. I want you to bring those up, okay? All of these really deep emotions. And if you want to cry, that's okay. But do your best to just be the observer of these things that have happened in your life, okay? And be sure to breathe through this. Make sure that you're taking good deep breaths. And make sure that when you're letting go, that you're also affirming to yourself for whatever that pain that was created, that you take a step to consciously move in the opposite direction that feels right for you. Okay, an example, if you were a woman in a church and you were constantly being pushed down, told that you did not have any authority. Maybe your vow to yourself or your promise to yourself is, from this now moment, I will never allow people to discredit me based off of my gender. I will never allow a person to discard my thoughts, to discard my power, to cast me aside just because of my gender and just because of what a book says. Okay, so you can make that promise with yourself, that taking power back. And now we move on to the next, okay? So just do that for a moment. And if you're crying, I understand. Just bring it back. Bring yourself back in. It's always a safe place to cry. There's a lot of hurt and a lot of emotions. But we don't want to push ourselves to a point to where it's too much. Because if we push ourselves to that point, then we won't return to the work. So give yourself the safe space to cry, but make sure that you are holding yourself safe through that. Maybe you had a pastor who always talked down to you. Maybe you had a family member who told you that you were possessed by demons. Maybe you had a family member who told you that you were possessed by Satan or that you were going to be going to hell. Maybe you accidentally created hurt for somebody and they decided to throw the book at you and tell you every single reason why why you weren't worthy of being loved by God, or whatever it may be. I want you to bring all those hurts to the surface. Bring them all to the surface. It's a lot. There's a lot of them. Maybe it's that, maybe one of the things that come up for you is, how can God unconditionally love me and damn so many people to hell, right? All of these beliefs, all of these things that we inherently know is not true. We just know these things are not true. Everybody is built in with this radar of sensing things that are not true, and we just know this is not true. And so we can see that and we can say, yeah, we're rejecting that. And we are standing in our power, and we're standing in our own being. Okay, now I want you to take a moment, and I want you to talk to your younger self. I want you to talk to the child inside of you. And I want you to tell that child how much you love that child. And I want you to promise that child that from this day forward, you are going to do your best to stand up for that child. And that you're going to do your best to make sure that nobody ever abuses that child again. And that nobody ever takes advantage of that child again. Okay. And so now we're going to sit here and we're just going to clean up any last thoughts, any last ideas that might have come up for us in this moment. And now I want you to talk to your current version of yourself. And I want you to make an oath to the current version of yourself. And that oath I want you to make is that you're going to promise to stand up for that version of you when it's required. Okay? That you're not going to allow yourself to be told that you're not worthy of being loved, that you're not going to allow somebody to tell you that this supposedly unconditionally loving God wants to ban you to hell, right? These kind of crazy ideas. I want you to stand up for yourself, and I want you to tell yourself an oath and promise to yourself right now that you will stand up for yourself, and that you are not accepting these crazy ideas that religion is trying to put on you. These crazy ideas. Okay. Now go ahead and slowly come back into your body. Take a couple of breaths. And slowly open your eyes. And ground. Yeah? How did that feel? Let me know how that feels for you guys down in the comments if you did like it. And you can always come back to this video and do this again and again and again and again as many times as you need to. And so, once again, the purpose of this is to drum up. And the thing is, there's going to be things, so maybe you picked up a couple of things today, and a week from now, there's going to be a few more things. And then you're going to go to a convention, and there's going to be somebody standing on a street corner telling you that you're unworthy. Right? Now, don't fight them. Don't leave the brass knuckles at home. Right? But don't take it on either. Right? At the end of the day, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, there's mean people everywhere. Okay? Don't take on their insults for yourself. People are going to throw insults no matter what you're doing, no matter where you're going. People are going to throw insults. And so just water off of a duck's back, you know. It hurts, sure. And sure, I agree. I can, you know, people throw something at you and sometimes it hits. But only know it hits because a part of you resonates with that, okay? If somebody calls you a stupid idiot and it hurts you, that's because deep down there's a part of you that still believes that, you know, you're a stupid idiot. And so stand up for yourself and bring that to the surface and go, what was the first time in my life that I ever felt stupid? Who was the first person in my life to ever call me a stupid idiot? And go back and dig it up and rewrite that story. And once you rewrite that story and let go of that pain, next time it happens, it won't bother you because you'll just know that you're not that, right? So, okay, guys, I love you. I hope you guys enjoyed this little meditation. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is going to be going to the playlist for the meditations and stuff like that. So we will see you later. Appreciate it. Ow, go away.